2022 Chevrolet Bolt EV Hatchback. The Chevrolet Bolt EV is a small all-electric hatchback that's one of the most affordable and popular electric cars on the road today. For 2022, Chevrolet has made a variety of improvements that boost the car's appeal a bit further. On the docket are more comfortable front seats, a redesigned cabin and updated styling that, to our eyes, looks less dorky than it did before. A suite of safety features is now standard, including forward collision warning and lane keeping assist. On the options list are blind spot monitoring, a 360-degree camera and, finally, adaptive cruise control. Unfortunately, GM's Super Cruise system, which is a driver assist system that provides hands-free driving on select highways, is not available on the Bolt hatchback, but it is optional on the new Chevrolet Bolt EUV crossover. The Bolt EV uses the same powertrain as before that provides an EPA-estimated 259 miles of range on a full charge. We've found it even overperforms a little, making it 278 miles in our real-world testing. Overall, this is a healthy amount of range for an EV in this price range. Chevy has also enhanced the 2022 Bolt so it can recharge more quickly on 240-volt power, but you'll likely have to install a special charging station to take full advantage of it at home. Overall, we like the updated 2022 Chevrolet Bolt. However, the Bolt's recent battery recall might give you pause as a long-term reliability concern and could make it hard to find a Bolt for sale early in the model year. Meanwhile, there are more appealing EVs than ever before, including the Ford Mustang Mach-E, Hyundai Kona EV, Kia Niro EV, Tesla Model 3 and Volkswagen ID.4. The Chevrolet Bolt was early on the EV scene and we lauded it for its relatively spacious interior, fun-to-drive nature and solid amount of range. Chevy's latest update has also addressed some of the car's prior shortcomings. We like the Bolt, but competitors from Ford, Hyundai, Kia and Tesla are a little more appealing overall. The Bolt scooted from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.9 seconds in our testing, which is reasonably quick for an EV in this price range. You can merge onto freeways with ease or overtake when you need it. The Bolt's brakes are consistent and easy to control if you prefer to not use the single pedal mode to do most of your slowing from regenerative braking. We like the latter since it requires less effort and improves range. There's even an additional steering wheel region braking paddle for those who want to maximize energy recuperation. The Bolt responds smoothly to steering inputs without feeling darty. The steering feel and feedback are good, and the car stays straight ahead on the highway without demanding driver attention. When the road begins to curve, the Bolt feels nimble and sure-footed. The front seats now have adequate cushioning compared to those in previous model years. They're no longer a literal pain in our backsides on long road trips, though we still think they could use a little more thigh bolstering. The Bolt's ride quality, however, is still overly busy and choppy because the suspension struggles to absorb pavement cracks and sharp-edged potholes. When the pavement is smooth, so is the Bolt. The updated climate controls are straightforward and have redundant functions on the touchscreen and below the screen with physical buttons. The system reacts quickly, and the 2LT trim comes standard with heated front seats and steering wheel. We also like the Bolt's quiet cabin. Wind noise is not an issue. The controls are thoughtfully arranged, with a handy volume knob and tune buttons to the left of the touchscreen. The transmission controls, which are now a row of buttons instead of the previous Bolt's conventional shift lever, take a quick moment to get used to. The digital instrument panel is configurable to show key information such as battery information, driver efficiency and power output. We found it simple to settle in behind the wheel thanks to a height-adjustable driver's seat and a generous telescoping steering wheel. All of the doors open wide, and the roofline is tall all the way to the rear hatch. The Bolt feels much larger inside than you might expect with the exception of its width. The cabin is a bit narrow, but there's plenty of head and legroom. Peek-a-boo windows help you see past the front roof pillars, and an available 360-degree camera system aids visibility. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility is standard. These smartphone integration systems are all you get for in-car navigation because an integrated navigation system isn't offered. The touchscreen is big and responsive. 2 front USB ports, one regular and one USB-C, come standard, and you get additional ports for the rear passengers when jumping up to the 2LT trim. Forward collision mitigation and lane keeping assist come standard on the Bolt, and you get blind spot monitoring and a surround view camera system with the 2LT. These driver aids generally work well, though we found the adaptive cruise control, optional for the 2LT, breaks a little too late for comfort when using the closest distance setting. Considering its size, the Bolt has a good amount of space inside for small items. The front door pockets, center console and glove box are adequate. There's also a plus-sized phone cubby with a wireless charger in front of the transmission gear selector and an open space for a handbag or something of similar size under the center console. At 16.6 cubic feet behind the rear seats, the cargo area is smaller than the competition. But it's still useful, and it also has a floor panel that provides hidden storage or that can be removed to carry bulkier items. The Bolt also works out pretty well for family taxi duty. The car seat anchors for child safety seats are easy to locate, and there are top tethers on all 3 rear seat positions. The rear doors open wide enough to fit bulky rear-facing seats inside. The EPA estimates the Bolt can travel 259 miles on a single charge, making it one of the better ranges in the segment for the cost. It's also estimated to return 100 miles for every 28 kilowatt-hours of electricity used. In Edmunds' real-world EV range testing, the Bolt was able to travel 278 miles on a single charge at a slightly more efficient 25.7 kilowatt-hours per 100 miles. While that's a good result, the Hyundai Kona Electric, which received a similar range and efficiency rating from the EPA, outperformed its estimates a bit more, traveling more than 300 miles. The Bolt comes with an upgraded dual-level charge cord, which allows owners to swap between level 1, 120-volt, and level 2, 240-volt, charging. However, to make full use of the new Bolt's more powerful 11 kW onboard charger, previously it was 7.7 kilowatts, you'll need dedicated wall charging hardware since the included cord maxes out at 7.2 kilowatts. Chevrolet gave the 2022 Bolt more padding on the front seats, upgraded interior materials, and more features such as an adaptive cruise system and wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compatibility. The Bolt's entry price is also lower, which helps offset the fact that it no longer qualifies for the $7,500 federal tax credit. While this helps the Bolt stay relatively competitive, it's not a value leader if you're able to take full advantage of a model with tax credits. The Bolt's basic warranty of 3 years, 36,000 miles is par for the course, but the electric components, especially the battery, are covered for 8 years, 100,000 miles. Roadside assistance lasts for 5 years, 60,000 miles, which ain't shabby, and free maintenance lasts for 24,000 miles. The Bolt's playful nimbleness and one-pedal driving afforded by the good regenerative braking effect are very entertaining and remain in its refreshed form. It's a surprisingly enjoyable EV to drive. The upright hatchback styling doesn't stand out in a crowd, but the refreshed exterior design can be polarizing. Thankfully, the updated interior makes the Bolt look more futuristic and spacious. It continues to deliver solid green street cred and low-cost long-range performance.